3, 4. Hello, everybody. Live, Dr. Bill Janeshak and Glen Depke, the naturopath to the world and the stars and everything else. Um, I want to jump on here because, as many of you know, and if you don't know, Glenn and I are in the same office. We've been friends for years, and so we often have these conversations. And then lately, like everybody's been sick. Like the last month and a half, people are getting the flu or the cold or whatever it is, and they're thinking, oh no, COVID's back, and I didn't even hear Fauci say anything about it. So what am I going to do? And it's not just like the garden variety thing that's going on, because it seems to be like hanging out with people for 2 or 3 weeks. And you deal with immunity and hormones and the menopause expert on natural ways to get into the root cause. So I thought it was going to be a good idea for us to just share most of the conversation that we have privately. We'll try to keep it clean for this, but so
Oh,
what
you
have
didn't
you been
tell me
seeing?
that. Well, yeah. Well, here's one of the things, and then this was kind of interesting, Bill, and this is something that we were chatting about. I work with a lot of people with hormones, and I'm always looking to get to the bottom of what's causing the hormonal issues, right? You're looking at like the hormonal system is just a response to what's going on. And out of the different things I look at, one of those is I'm always looking at stool collections because a lot of people who have hormone issues actually have infections in their gut. And the thing that I brought up to Bill when we were chatting about this is it's just unbelievable right now. Almost every stool collection that I get back actually shows the detrimental bacteria of streptococcus or strep infection. And it's interesting with that. Like when most people hear the word strep, they think of, oh, I got a sore throat, I have a strep infection, right? And yet I'm seeing it in the colon and the gastrointestinal system all the time now. Literally almost 100% of the stool collection kits that I've gotten back over the last, I don't know, let's say 3 months have been dealing with this. And what's interesting too is what I recognize over the years is the different, especially with bacteria, the different detrimental bacteria that people can have, they tend to cycle. Like when you see a lot of one, you see a lot of that, right? And then something new comes up again. And it's just, and here's the whole thing. Like when I'm talking to my clients, Bill, I didn't share this with you the other day, but it's a lot of times, when I recognize these things going on in their gut, I'll give a protocol to help get rid of it. But I always tell them, I says that the key though is you really have to get your hormonal system balanced and your immune system in prime condition, because the simple fact is we're all exposed to pathogens all the time, whether they be bacteria or parasites or viruses or yeast, fungal, mold. Like all these things are going on all the time. Yet the key though is if your immune system is strong and you're exposed to a pathogen, your body recognizes it, it red flags it manufactures the proper components in your gastrointestinal tract to attack it. It attacks it, it kills it, and then it gets rid of it. Like that's how it should be happening. But what sucks for most people, Bill, is that their immune system isn't there, right? And
Hmm.
it's we've and thankfully a lot of people get some of the like simple things to do with immunity. Like people know they need to take vitamin D, they need to take vitamin C, and zinc are really like the big three that people talk about all the time. But there's a couple of missing components for immunity that nobody's talking about, well, except for you and I, because
Well,
that's
okay,
just who
so
we are,
hold on.
right?
So Kate, wonderful Kate Troyer's on here. She's Feng Shui Kate, so she's all about energy and everything. But if anybody's listening to this or you're watching this on live, this is why I wanted to bring up what's about to happen here. This is the other stuff. So if you're doing the low hanging fruit and say, I took my what's it called, emergency, and my
Right.
elderberry and stuff like that. Okay, great, that's cute. But this is the stuff when we're talking about root cause. So if you're here or you watching this later, take the notes on this, because this is going to be important, because this is the stuff that we talk about, and this is stuff that we're taking. And I got COVID in 2021, and other than that, I haven't been sick in 25, 30. I don't remember the time. I don't really get sick. And I know you don't get sick. You got your ass kicked by COVID. Uh, Actually, you brought it
Before
over. I think
anybody knew it was
you
a
were, yeah,
COVID.
you were the one that
Yeah,
started the whole
Bill
damn
always
thing.
jokes that I was patient zero or patient one in the U.S.
You bring it up. So
Well, yeah, I get
go
yeah.
go ahead and drop some gold.
Okay. Well, the first thing I'll bring up, and this is something everybody knows, you need to take your vitamin D. But there's this cracks me up, Bill. We were chatting about this just
Mhm.
earlier before we started the live. Is that people, they get their blood tests back, and let's say their vitamin D is 38 and the reference range goes from 30 to 100, and your doctor is like, oh, your vitamin D is great. Well, no, that 38 sucks, right? Because a healthy person, if you're healthy, you still want your vitamin D somewhere. Well, which, and also say, if you don't know this, vitamin D isn't even a vitamin, it's a hormone, right? And the hormone of vitamin D is essential for immunity. And for a healthy person, you want it somewhere between like 50 and 100 and 70 at least. But then for somebody who has health issues and you're looking to really boost immunity to have a higher therapeutic supportive level, you want it really between 70 and 100. So if you get your blood test back and it's 38, well, that's terrible. And if you really want, if you're looking to be in a therapeutic level, even if you're between 50 and 70, that's not enough. You really want it between that 70 and 100. And the kicker with this is, like, a lot of times people just, they don't take enough, or they don't take really the best forms. I mean, I see people who, oh, my vitamin D is real low, I'm going to take 1,000 IUs a day. Well, that's not really doing anything. The last, if I have somebody in my office who their vitamin D is low and we want to help get it up, I'm usually recommending 5,000 IUs twice per day, one with each
Mhm.
meal. And it's something that, and it's not just taking the vitamin D on those levels, or taking those 10,000 IUs a day if you know it's low. If you don't know where your vitamin D level is, I would normally recommend like 5,000 IUs, because you don't know where it is, right? But the other thing is, what are you taking? Like Dr. Bill and I in the office, we always recommend something called Ultra D 5000, which is a liquid emulsified form of vitamin D that has all these other cofactors that are essential for the absorption of vitamin D. But a lot of people just, they'll take a capsule of powdered vitamin D, and they're thinking that this is going to get their level up, yet the absorption of that is like nothing, right? So even from a D perspective, and that's something you go into Bill's office and grab an Ultra D 5000 from him, or sometimes he'll sneak into my refrigerator and grab some for me. And but then there's other things outside of that, outside of the D and the C and the zinc. So, and these are things that nobody's talking about. And number one is vitamin A, because vitamin A actually plays a crucial role in helping support your body's immune defenses. And with this, it ties into like the mucosal barriers. You just understand your mucosal barrier, which is the interior lining of your nose, your sinuses, your esophagus, your gut. For women, your vagina, and also tied into the barriers in your eyes. These are really your body's first layers of defense of the immune system. It's kind of like the Marines of the immune system.
Well,
And
interrupt you. So, like, for the people listening, think of it like a glue stick. So, like, when bad squigglies are going around in your stuff, it's a place for it to stick onto, so it doesn't get all jacked up in your body. So, mucosal is a big word, and they want to make
exactly.
sure that. So,
Yeah,
go
yeah,
ahead.
yeah, yeah, and
I
it's
didn't.
and it's and it's really like that protected. If we always think of it, it's like it's the protective barrier. It's your immune system saying, "No, you can't come get me," kind of thing. And on top of that, vitamin A is another thing that people don't know, is that vitamin A plays a huge role in the function of your white blood cells, and they actually even help support your body naturally capturing and clearing bacteria and other pathogens from your bloodstream. So when I'm talking about all these people that have these strep infections, the streptococcus, and different types of strep, and sometimes hemolytic, and all these different things going on, sometimes it's just tied into, their vitamin A levels are low, their white blood cell markers aren't working very well, and there's symptoms of that you might resonate with as somebody who's watching this. So there's different signs of vitamin A deficiency, and it could be a dry skin, also dry eyes, night blindness, where if it's harder for you to see at night, there could be like more consistent throat and chest infections, or acne, or different breakouts, and even poor wound healing are just some examples of this. And it's something, and it's so simple and easy. This is something I do every day. Like this is what I take. This is called Liqua A. I don't know if you could see that here, everybody. But
Yep.
Liqua A, all I do is every day, and this literally has 260 doses in here in this tiny, it's a tiny little bottle. It's all of like 0.44 ounces in here. And all I do every day is I take this and I do 2 drops under my tongue, let it sit there for a little bit. And I usually do it with a meal. And this way I know I have the vitamin A that I need. That's a big thing that people are just missing, because like it was interesting earlier when you said Fauci. God, I even forgot about that guy. And but and then there were so many people, the anti-Fauci is like all the natural guys and women online who were talking about immunity, who again, we're always talking about D and C and zinc and maybe quercetin and different things like that. But who've you ever heard talk about vitamin A? And then there's another big one
about A is I noticed with a lot of my thyroid patients is because in order to get thyroid hormone into every cell in the body, it has to ride on vitamin A. So you can be doing everything right, be deficient in one thing, and it doesn't get into the cell. And again, it's all about absorption. So you can take all the stuff in the world,
right.
but if you're not absorbing it, what's the use? And then the problem is people will go say, "Oh, it doesn't work." Yeah, because they're missing a component.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm glad you brought that up too, Bill. I wasn't even thinking about that, because it's
Well,
we've all heard like 1,000. What's that?
I said that's why I'm here, just to help you out.
You think of the things that I can't, right? Yeah, and we've all heard 1,000 times, if not once, that you are what you eat. And I tell my clients, every new client comes in, and I bring that up, and I was like, that's a lie every time you've heard it. You're never what you eat. You're what you absorb and you assimilate. And with vitamin A, just like vitamin D, is a fat soluble nutrient, and anybody who's challenged with their digestive system, which is unfortunately most people, like even just stress in itself ruins your digestive system, right? Because if you're stressed out and you're eating, your body thinks your body's in fight or flight. It's not interested in breaking down your nutrients, right? So you're not what you eat, you're what you absorb and you assimilate. So that's why, like, having these forms that are really optimized to make it easiest with a challenged digestive system. And then you have to look at it from also a digestive perspective also too, Bill, because the other thing that I is nobody's talking about with immunity is short chain fatty acids. And short chain fatty acids, I'll show you what I take with this every day. I take, and I know you do the same, I take this something called Enterovite. And I take 2 of these in the morning, and I take 2 at night, usually before a meal. And short chain fatty acids are essential for your mucosal lining. So that interior, that barrier system, that interior lining of your gut, you need short chain fatty acids for it to be healthy. And you need that mucosal lining to be healthy for optimal digestion. And here's the other big kicker. About 75 to like 85% of our immune system function originates in the gut. So if that mucosal lining is unhealthy, so is our immunity, right? And Bill, you and I have talked about short chain fatty acids for years, and we used to always talk about just a butyric acid, or some people refer to it as butyrate. Yet there's really 3 different types of short chain fatty acids that are essential, and the only and the product that and I know you take the same dose as I do. And Bill,
morning,
share what you told me the other day since you've been taking that. Yeah. So what have you been feeling since you started taking it?
So what we had talked about before is that I've been supplementing my whole life and everything else, but I don't feel a lot of difference. I don't have a lot of aches and pains and sicknesses, like I said. I'm not perfect, but I don't think that was one of the very few that I can think of that like immediately I could see the difference. Just in as we get more mature, blood sugar regulation can become an issue. You can't eat pixie sticks and meth all on the same day like before. But I've seen that was the first thing when I started introducing the short chain fatty acids was I saw that change. But everything just seems to, again, it just clicked, and I'm like, wow, I feel good. The energy throughout the day was about the same. You know, it never had dips and peaks and valleys. Like I said, it was one of the biggest things that I've changed. And I'm like, wow. And when I was first learning about Enterovite, I'm thinking, well, y'all probably have to take 4 here and then I started out with 2, and I'm like, oh, this is the dose. So 2 in the morning, and then I take it 2 at night. It was a game changer, and you don't hear it. That's why I put this. These are the things that you don't hear about. You're not hearing about vitamin A. You're not hearing about short chain fatty acids. We hear about medium chain fatty acids because of the keto thing, but yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah, and it's so significant, and it's like and again, and I want you, if you're taking your D and your C and your zinc, continue that. That's fantastic, and yet if you're not getting the vitamin A and there's deficiencies, those other things that they're still helping you, but you're not ever optimizing your immunity. And the short chain fatty acids cover so much because it's about helping the body naturally support the mucosal lining, which supports digestion. It supports what's going on from obviously an immune perspective that we're talking about. And the other thing too is that short chain fatty acids, your body can also burn for energy. And you actually get about 7 times more energy burning fat for fuel than you do burning carbs. So it's not only energy, it's better energy, and it's a cleaner energy, because carbs, when you burn carbs for fuel, there's more free radical activity and oxidative stress created. Whereas when you burn fat for fuel, so when you're burning the Enterovite for fuel, those short chain fatty acids, it's cleaner and it's better. Like, which, like, who doesn't want that? Like, everybody wants more energy nowadays. And then so to me, like, those are all the important things from a perspective of, like, those are the more longer term things you do. Like, I take the vitamin A, those 2 little tiny drops every day. I take 2 of these Enterovite. Because when your vitamin D is already in a good level, when you're in a good level, you just want to support it. So like a 5,000 IUs of the Ultra D 5,000. So just 1 teaspoon a day with a meal. All these things are simple and easy. And then the other question comes in, well, what do I do? Like, that all sounds great, and I want to support my immunity, but what do I do acutely when I don't feel well? And that's, kind of my go-to with that is something called, and probably most of you have heard about this, is colloidal silver. And what's awesome about a good high quality colloidal silver, you have to make sure that those are key. High quality is a key with silver as well, because it's not all like that. Yeah, but the prime silver support that I use, and I'll show you. This is a larger bottle. This is 16-ounce bottle of the prime silver, and then there's also a little 2-ounce dropper full bottle. But even as an example, before we got on this, I took my dogs for a walk, and one of my dogs got a little cut on her pad. And my go-to then is I took out the prime silver in little droppers, and I put a couple drops on there, because the prime silver has properties to support the immunity from an antibacterial, antiviral, even like an antimicrobial perspective. And it's something that, if I'm not feeling well, I'll actually take a teaspoon of this, like maybe 3-4 times a day. And if I feel like I've got something from more of a respiratory perspective, I'll put 1 tablespoon in my nebulizer, and I'll breathe it in, and it'll get into the lungs. And these are all things just to help your immune system,
okay,
like supporting your
back
immune
up,
system
my
and overcoming.
boy. So I've told a lot of patients about that. And go back to the basic. What's a nebulizer? For everybody listening that's
Here, hold on. Let me go grab mine. I'll be right back.
Oh no, if you leave the show, you're off the show, dude. Homie, don't play that game. So I've been talking a lot about Glenn shared this with me. Like I said, when I got sick once, so 2021 when I had COVID, and I was just feeling like crap. And Glenn told me about this. So he's going to get the nebulizer, and
So
you know,
yeah,
Cheeto.
sorry, I left you guys with Bill.
Yeah,
I
it
know he
was
can get a little
so
abrasive.
I got the nebulizer, and Glenn gave me this protocol, and I was like, oh, I was just so fatigued. I haven't felt like that in forever. And I did this protocol. I did it twice. Appreciable change like that. And then I just kept it up, and I did it for a couple days, and it kicked its butt. But then I got like a long COVID. So I was back working out, and I was working over with my homies over at Inversion CrossFit. So it's high intensity, but there's this ugly gear that we go into every once in a while, and I couldn't get in there. It was just there was no lung capacity left. So I redid this thing to kick the butts of all the squigglies that are probably left in my lung, and it was another couple weeks of that, and then I was back on, and I felt better than ever. So it's all on you now, Glenn.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is the box of the nebulizer that I use. So let me get the right direction here,
There you
and
go.
you know it's mine because it says it has my name on it. Okay, so this is Glenn's. You can't use it. I don't let anybody else use my nebulizer. Yeah, because but in essence, what you're doing is this is the nebulizer. This is what you're putting. You're putting this up over like this,
Looking good.
and everybody's like, man, that is the best looking dude I've ever seen, right? But here's what you're doing. All you're doing is you're taking 1 tablespoon of this and you're dropping it into the nebulizer, and then you turn on the machine, and then you're breathing. You just sit there and breathe it in, and it literally takes only about 5 minutes to nebulize a tablespoon of the colloidal silver. And again, it's just to help really support your body's natural ability to overcome these things. And of course, consult your doctor to make sure that he's in agreement with you doing this. We have to get get that in
Get the
there.
disclaimer
This is
in.
just I'm just sharing all this for educational purposes. And please consult your family physician, who probably won't know anything about colloidal silver, and tell you it's dangerous and you're going to turn blue. But that's why, like, even with the colloidal silver, that's why I say you want to use a high quality silver. Yeah, because yes, there have been people who've taken a lot of bad quality silver and their skin has turned blue. Not like the Blue Man Group blue, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, not
But
not not the cool
it's just
Vegas
great.
kind.
Yeah. So it's just really awesome to have around. Like, this is my, most homes, and Bill, you know this of me. I haven't even taken an aspirin in like 25 years, right? So when people come to my house and they have a cut and they're like, "Oh, do you have an antibiotic cream?" Well, I reach in my pantry and I grab I was like, "Well, yeah, here. This is my antibiotic cream. Let me put a drop of this on you." It's just, there's so many things that we can use that are natural, that work along with supporting immunity. And we have to think about this from both the supportive level and also from the level of what are we doing in an acute situation to help support immunity. And these are just tidbits that nobody's really sharing.
Okay, so
And I'll
I
give
want to go
credit to
back.
Bill. This was all Bill's idea.
Yeah, I'm brilliant. I'm brilliant. I have great conversations, and I go, hey, I'll look really good if someone smart's around me disseminating this information on my channel. I'm like, yeah, it's a bonus. So there's
Well,
another thing that I want you to touch on is the master antioxidant, which is interesting that every time I bring up this supplement, which is naturally occurring in the body, I'm surprised on people don't know what it is. So what do you
okay, I'm
have
going to
with?
disappear. I'm going to disappear again.
Okay, you, this is what he's doing. he's going over to Google the information, goes like, what the hell's he talking about? Um, in doing
I
this
heard that,
stuff.
Bill.
Yeah.
I will have to admit I have done that at some points in the past, but yeah, I know what Bill's talking about. He's talking about glutathione.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is a trisomal glutathione, which is a liposomal glutathione, and I haven't taken mine today, so I'll show you how easy this is. So you get this little syringe with it, and you put that in there, and you kind of just pull up what you're taking, what you're doing. I usually do a dose of 10 milliliters a day. Some people are just doing 5, and all you do is just shoot in the mouth and swallow it. Now, the benefits of this is a major missing piece also of immunity, because glutathione, as Bill said, is your body's master antioxidant. And your body, it's so important in your body. Your body has the ability to manufacture it and to recycle it. Yet, unfortunately, most people don't have the functional health levels to make that happen. So taking glutathione is significantly important. Not only as a master antioxidant, it has supportive value for detoxification in your body. It plays a significant role in what's going on from an immune perspective. And there's even been, like, statistically, other things going on with people. Like, there's been I've read some research about that people that have Alzheimer's disease, 100% of them are low in glutathione. Or people with autoimmune conditions, again, 100% are low in glutathione. So there's a lot of these chronic ailments that people will be dealing with that are usually like long-term immune/inflammatory conditions that it's very common that those conditions go along with a decrease in glutathione. And what's key with it, the reason why I use the trisomal glutathione, because glutathione it doesn't have a really good absorption rate. And so you want it in this liposomal form to really get the benefits of the glutathione. And these are just, again, the no-brainers that, and obviously I'm in my house right now. This is my living room. This is my little keyboard back there. So I'm not at somebody else's, like at a supplement store, picking up things. These are things I'm grabbing out of my pantry and out of my refrigerator. These are things that I do every day that, but that's why I'm going to be 60 this year. That's why I can be 60. I can be in good shape. I can feel good. I can burn the candle at both ends every once in a while and in the middle, and still like get through it quite well, because I take care of this shit, and a lot of people don't. So that's
It's the
why we're here,
precursor.
because
Yeah. Most people wait on an emergency level of going, oh no, I'm sick now. What do I do to cure it? And we both know by law that you can only cure things with drugs and surgery by law. So
right.
that's what we wait for. And we've been trained for emergency medicine and everything else. I always talk about people being urban athletes, and you should train for your life, whether you're a data entry clerk or a professional football player or a professional quilter. But you need to train, and you need to support your body and doing the things you don't worry about this stuff. Because I'm the same way. But I want to bring up a thing about the glutathione that a lot of people don't know, and that's going to be a big game changer, because some people say, well, I'm going to get the benefits of both, and I'm going to do what my allopathic doctor says, and I'll do all the natural things as well. Well, one of the problems is, like with like Tylenol. Tylenol will strip your glutathione. So when you take your Tylenol, you're obliterating that, your body's first natural, most powerful first line of defense in your immune system. And there's it's controversial, like most things, because they're doing it, but they're thinking one of the links between wait, yeah, we're on social, of putting things that are mandated into your bloodstream via needle, and spectrum disorders, is that they're instructed to take Well, if you have a problem, just take Tylenol. It's safe for kids or people or whatever. But you're stripping that glutathione so that protection level can kind of go away. So that's another thing. It's not only what you take, but how you're abusing it. So
Mm-hmm.
I think we might have got through the
And
bots with
Bill,
that.
you have to share something else. You have to share something else too, because this
Okay.
is the thing that gets me because when somebody comes in my office, like I always ask every one of my clients, do you see a chiropractor? And if they say yes, then I'll say, well, when's the last time you've been there and how often, right? And then and if somebody tells me no, I've never been to a chiropractor, I was like, well, if you want to get the benefits of what we're going to do together, I'm not a chiropractor, but I always support quality chiropractic care. And it's amazing how many people say, well, no, I've never been to a chiropractor because I've never been in a car accident or I never fell off my bike and hurt myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, but from an immune perspective, please explain to people how important going to a chiropractor is to immunity.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is really interesting on it because, and I love my profession, but we're our own worst enemy because we're going TikToks and we have the marketing. See how much cracking you can get. Chiropractic in its essence is a nervous system quality. Everything that we do is about the nervous system. That starts with the brain, the central nervous system, spinal cord, and the like. Chiropractic affects the brain, which controls and automates every other system in the body. So that's where we start on that higher end. But the way that we do that is through, as soon as we're born, we're brought into gravity and things start firing off. So our brains are always active and they're controlling things. But imagine if you have everything in your house, but all the electronics and things, but it's not plugged in, or there's a short in that. It can't work to its capacity the way it works. And in fact, in the upper cervical area here, right at the brainstem, this is where the brainstem is. That's where the neurosystem and the peptides that run the immune system begin. And if there's any pressure, and I'm not talking about pain, and this is what Glenn was talking about. We're taught about getting after the fact. Oh, my back is tweaked. It's sore. There's this pinching thing. There's burning and tingling. Yeah, we can definitely take care of that. But your subluxations, and that's what it's called when the vertebrae get out of place and put pressure on the nerve, they start way beyond that time before you feel pain. So being structurally found and neurologically sound is way important. So thanks for bringing that up, because that's why I brought you along, to remind me of the stuff that I forget. Because
Well,
it's
sorry,
so
I had to
important.
disappear again.
Yeah,
I had to disappear again, and my computer was telling me you're going to run out of power. Please plug in. I was like, okay, all right.
Yeah,
So
we
no, and
get that
it's
all
one
the
of
time.
those. It's those keys. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
and the
And I
other
have to
thing
say,
is, go ahead.
no, you go ahead. I was
Well, I
just going
was
to
going
make
to
a
say
joke.
the other thing that we forget is exercise. Regular exercise is one of the best things that you can do for your immunity, because it starts moving those immune cells that are sitting around dormant. It starts moving around, and they're like the search crew, the search and rescue crew that's going to places looking for little bad squigglies and stuff getting out there. The moving your lymphatic system to flush all that stuff out, so you get in the sewer system of the body going. Exercise is so vital and so misunderstood, and that's another reason. Go back to our same philosophy. I don't like the term therapeutic exercise. It means that you're just deficient in exercise, and the body has a natural way of righting itself if you just do the things that you should do. So all those things are going on.
Well, it's so funny too. Like Bill, you're talking about lymphatic. So this is crazy. Like I can't make this shit up. So I'm gonna move away for just a second.
He's leaving
So
again.
this is in my living room right now because I've been working on my lymphatic system. So
Oh
this is
yeah,
my
yeah,
rebounder. Those are
yes,
little round trampolines, right? And really the best way to move your lymphatic system. You just get one of those little
Mhm.
round trampolines and jump on it, like 5 minutes, maybe once or twice a day. Great for, moving all of this crap through your lymph and getting it out of your body. And Bill brought up a great, and now Bill, we haven't talked about this at all. So I'm going to kind of put you on a spot here. So
All
the
right.
other thing, like Bill's bringing up how you have to take care of the simple things, you have to take care of the fundamentals. So Bill, do you have that link ready that you're going to give to, you're talking to a group? Is it today?
Oh, oh yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah,
Can you,
yeah,
can
we're
you
talking.
share that link in with this where everybody can get a free copy of my book, Fat, Fatigued, and Frustrated?
You know what? I'll put it at the end because, like, if I press the wrong button, we're all going to go away right
Yeah,
now.
yeah, we're both gone, right? Yeah,
I'll,
no, put it in
I'll,
the comments below. And so because that's the other thing too, like Bill's saying, if you got to take care of all the, it's not just about taking supplements. Like to me, supplements are just as the name goes. It's a supplement to doing all the correct things in your lifestyle. So Bill will actually give you a link to a book. It's called Fat, Fatigued, and Frustrated. And it's an action step guide to all of your fundamentals. So it'll help you, it'll give you directions on doing the simple things. And then that when you do the simple things right, then the supplements are much more efficient with your body. So yeah, I mean, we've gone over, Bill, we've gone over way more than I thought we were going to.
you know what?
I love when we
There's,
just get on here and like back and forth.
yeah, you know what? We can do that. There's going to be one more thing that I'm going to share um, after the fact is that, and I don't even know if I talked too much about it with you, so I'll put you on the spot now. So I had a
Nice.
patient that shares the hyperchlorous acid. And this is what I've been telling a lot of people do. So you talked earlier is about what you have. You don't take, you haven't taken aspirin or anything in 25 years. We're the same. If you ask my kids, they don't know what a medicine cabinet was because I banned that word from our house when they were growing up because we just called it a bathroom storage cabinet. Because just the thought of that medicine to normalize that word, and I'm not against medicine. And I'll say this all the time:
Right.
is medical doctors, allopathic, they save lives every day. They do things that you and I don't. You have a heart attack,
Right.
you have cancer, you have these life-changing things. We can't fix you. Acute care and everything else, if you can navigate through the insurance and the whole system, the care is wonderful. And I meet with medical doctors all the time who are just fine, loving people that want to do good in the world. And they have no business in chronic care, which is 80% of the things that are killing us. And their idea of taking care of it is being on lifetime medications. So I didn't want that in there. But in our bathroom storage cabinet, we always keep a couple of things. I always kept apple cider vinegar. I would always keep rock tape. I would keep magnesium, and then there's another thing that I just started using because it just came across was hyperchlorous acid. And it was funny when we owned the farm, we had a little farm in Norco, and all the old rednecks would come over and say, "Well, you got to go get some Vetracine." And like, what the hell is this stuff? It was this non-toxic spray that we used to put on the horses and people, and the kids in Norco, the teenagers would grab it and they would put it in little vials and they would sell it as like zit cream because it was antibacterial, antiviral, anti-mold, antifungal, everything that it was, and it was really good. Well, the only place that I knew that we got it was in this stuff called Vetracine. What I come to find out later is that that hyperchlorous acid is one of the active ingredients inside a white blood cell, and they actually used it in dental work a lot when they're flushing out pockets or they're doing root canals to kill all the bacteria because endocarditis is a big thing because it goes down the throat and kind of it's a bad deal. Well, I get my patients coming over and I say, okay, go to the pet store and I want you to get this stuff and gargle with it and do that. you mentioned about strep. So like as it's coming in, the nasal flush, eyes, throats, and everything else, we can get that on, flush that, kill it at that level. And once the hypochlorous acid does its job, it turns back into water, totally non-toxic, flush the eyes and everything else. So that's something we keep around in our bathroom storage cabinet all the time. So anyways, with that, Glenn, we could go back and forth all this time. So I'll throw the link down out in the comments of this. And along with that, there's Glenn's book is highlighting there because his agent needed top billing. There's also a book on elimination diets by Dr. Michael Pierce of The Human Condition. And then my little pamphlet on why do I hurt for musculoskeletal stuff. But yeah, we're doing a talk today on toxins and hormones. I snuck into Glenn's office, took all his old notes, plagiarized it, and put my name on it with a new logo. And I'm going to be taking all the credit for it.
Sorry. Well, and the joke I was going to make earlier, because I'm looking at the video, it looks like I have a Yorba Linda Family Chiropractic logo hanging in my
you do.
in my living room. Yeah,
how did
it's
you
like
get that?
I'm.
You know what? You're such a fan.
It's on the video. It's on the video.
Yeah, that's going to be your new tattoo. How come I don't have it? Where's that come? Yeah, I'll get on.
I think it's only on the one corner. Yeah, but
all right.
But yeah, and yeah, great stuff, Bill. And yeah, and I'm glad you brought up the hypochlorous acid, because that's another thing that people can use. And Bill's right on. It's tied into it's naturally released by white blood cells to fight infection, and it creates a free chlorine like bleach, but it's not bleach, obviously.
Yeah,
you don't want to use bleach.
Yeah, it smells and it tastes like chlorinated water or something. Like if you were sucking on your pool water or something like that. It's not bad. It's a great mouthwash. It's great it's kind of a no-brainer. And I've been trying to white label that and put but because it's a chemical technically that then there's a whole bunch of stuff. So up until now, it's just off to the pet store for me.
Well, and the other thing I'll throw out there too is the I use a combination of different essential oils. God, I use it every day, but the name is, I'm losing the name right now.
Are you doing Young Living or the Thieves?
Yeah, no, it's from Aroma Seas. I only have the bottle and use it every day. But I'm not going to run across my house again to grab that. But it's a combination of different essential oils that have all these different effects, where they have properties that are supported for antifungal, antibacterial, microbial, all these different things. And yeah, it's not Thieves. That's that is the version of that that's through Young Living. But the Aroma Seas one is good. I know you used to carry it as well. Yeah. I know why I'm drawing a blank on it right now.
Well, you know what? When you go back over there and you get some movement, and that'll kick your brain in, throw it into the comments when you get back up over here. And then we'll do that.
I'll do that. And well, so as soon as I stand up, I'll think of it. Right.
Yeah. So let's put this to a close, and then we'll throw this out. This is a good thing. We need to get together more often and do this if we can hold you off and keep you in town for a little while. And
yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah, we'll keep it going. So thanks for getting on, and we're gonna peace out.
Pleasure.
Bye.
Peace out, everybody. Peace out.
End stream.